Okay, yes, back to the demonstrations. You got to start somewhere, and the younger you are, the braver you are. The neighborhoods in DC matter. They matter. And there has to be more mental health than what we have. It's a crime. When Martin Luther King was honored, we were all there. And Delta Sigma Theta celebrated its 100th birthday in 2013. Government is still censored, you know that. How do you depict things in one picture so you get that people are happy to demonstrate and that overdoses have not gone away? Every time we celebrate, we do better. We empower each other and we record each other so we can play it back. When people are the martyrs, we got to show up for them. And you got to keep your own spirit happy by playing music, taking pictures of musicians. Official Washington, yeah, they be meeting serious. And you really do get tired because it's a hectic life being president of the United States. And I had the best time sharing it with all my mates in the Clinton administration, Gore administration. As we begin to depart, we begin to say goodbye. Here's the national, the wonderful cabinet members. Of course, I still love photography. Government ain't everything. It's about art and people and experiences so that we can all keep on dancing. Thank you.
Yay,
Okay.
thank you, Sharon.
That was terrific. Thank you.
No, thank you guys very much, really.
Thank you so
Sharon,
much.
could you say a little bit about how you got started originally with photography?
Oh, yeah, sure. My mom and dad were educators when I was growing up. And by the time I got to the 8th grade, they were both principals. I got scared. I said, ah! And my brother said, if they were ministers, you'd be like, really? You'd have to worry then. And I said, oh, okay. So whatever outfits we had on going to picnics was all the same material, just different styles. You could find the 4 farmers anywhere in a picnic crowd. Me and my brother couldn't get lost if we wanted to, okay? People said, that pattern, anybody with that pattern on, that's a farmer, okay? So my mother always took pictures. When I went off to Ohio State, she said, look, you're gonna grow up a little bit. Don't call, write, send pictures. And she gives me this little plastic Instamatic, and I'm like, I have enough to carry my bassoon, okay, to and from the music school and practice and all that stuff. But now I got a plastic camera. You know, I left that in the dorm, wasn't thinking about it. And as time went on, we couldn't be in the marching band as women. That was making me mad. Why? Because women should be able to do anything they want. So a few of us got crazy. I started doing more photography classes, which led me to believe I could be Merlin the magician too. I made more money on campus shooting pictures than I did burning hamburgers in the grill. So it all worked out. That's how I started. Worked at the Black student newspaper, did stuff for the school yearbook, traveled, got to meet lots of people, Angela Davis, Herbie Hancock. Who knew? It was terrific. That's it in a nutshell. Any other questions? Any questions about the pictures? Otherwise, let's just dive into the people who submitted their pictures for jurying, because this is why we're here.
Right. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for submitting. We really appreciate, Photoworks appreciates your support. This was just a fabulous show. And we're so proud to have Sharon Farmer here. I was going to read you her bio, but we're all on such a quick high that I won't do that till later, maybe.
That's what the internet's for. Don't put them to sleep.
Okay. And also Sharon will be doing a portfolio, a one-on-one portfolio review. It'll be online. If you want the details, we don't have everything finalized yet, but just check our website and you'll have it there and you'll connect with Sharon or me and you'll be able to have a one-on-one portfolio review. So I'd like to now just, I guess, we'll start the slideshow of everybody's work and you get to speak a little bit and Sharon will speak and just enjoy it. There's some terrific pictures here. So
yes, there are. Aha, y'all.
Okay.
And here's the bio you can read.
All right.
This is the page, and here we go.
All right. So, is Beth Altman out there?
I am here.
All right, you. Hey. Very cool.
Thank you.
Tell me how you found that.
You know, I was actually walking around in the neighborhood, just taking a walk on a beautiful day, obviously. And the graphics of the museum just really caught my attention, and I played around with it a little bit so that I could get, you know, the edges without the rest of the building. And here it is.
It's sharp as a tack. It's a gorgeous abstraction of sky, stone, and shadow. That's bad, girl.
Thank you.
Oh, Beth, you got another one.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
mine too. Yeah.
Excuse
I
me.
went, yeah, my office is just around the corner. Well, when I'm in my office, which I haven't been, but it's around the corner from Black Lives Matter Plaza. So I remembered to bring my camera one day. I had a break in my schedule and, you know, walked around there and took some pictures and, you know, it was captured not just by the artwork, but by these young women that were, you know, so fixed on. I imagine looking at the John Lewis poster.
And those signs. That's a wonderful
Yeah.
composition. You have great contrast on top of that. My eye goes everywhere and I learned something new I didn't see before. As many times as I've been down there, hey, this is really a very important piece, especially for history and historical purposes.
Yeah.
This is the aftermath of Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
If I get a little hostile, y'all, you know it's my past, okay? Don't mind me. Okay, here we go. Next. Yes, abstract. Bill Barton, where are you?
I thought I saw him.
There.
Bill,
Okay,
Bill.
I'm here.
All right.
Yo, Bill.
This is Metro Center downstairs waiting for the orange line. Did I come through okay?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Do you have any that light downstairs on top of the grow light downstairs?
And
I like this. I like this because of the action, the abstraction, and that you were taking chances. To me, I see composition here, so it's a hell of a chance. Tell me why you did it like that.
I just like doing these every now and then. This is not what I shoot normally. I normally shoot people, and every now and then, this kind of relaxes me because I really have no idea what I'm going to get until I take it and look at it.
Very cool. Very cool. Congratulations, because it caught my eye. I like abstract work. That one too, Bill.
All right, now this one, different location.
Okay.
This is between the east wing and the west wing where they have that movable sidewalk.
Yes.
And I take these are all handheld time exposures where I ran down the movable sidewalk and got yelled at by the security for running.
Yes. A photographer who takes a chance. You hear that? And he only got yelled at. He had success.
But you know, every time I'm down there, I do some pictures of both places. I do time exposures, and it's just fun. I have no expectations when I do it. And there's no manipulation other than what the camera sees.
I love it. I love it. Pure light and glass with some digital help now. I love it. That's very cool because it's different. And it caught my eye. And abstract is in just as much as reality is. So that it's good to see you stretching because you had to think about that as you did that. Very good.
Yeah, it was fun. Before I was in photography, when I was in high school, I saw a photo in a magazine guy did way back. I'm going to show my age now, in 1966.
Young thing.
And this guy did a series of the Red Guard, the Chinese Red Guard in Beijing. And the whole series was like this. It was all blurred. There wasn't a sharp
Oh, no, it's too
picture in
black.
there. And it was great because you really got the feeling of what was going on. And I remember that, and I use that every now and then when I'm at some place and I take a picture and I say, that looks like junk. And then you do something totally weird and totally different, and you get something interesting.
The eyeball connected to the brain, connected to the fingers. And then,
You
of
got
course,
it.
Andre Carter-Bresson's decisive moment. That's very cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Who that? Paige. Paige. Anybody see Paige? Okay,
I
well,
thought I saw her earlier, but I don't. Okay.
Sharon, would you like to talk about why you chose this photo?
yes. Composition. And what first caught my eye was the jogger running by a black and a white kid together, enjoying what they're doing. So, and then what I call the, like we're friends look, because everybody's concentrating on something there. So it has composition, it has action, especially behind the runner behind them going by. And everything is almost like the rule of thirds. It's strong, has an image. That's what I like about this.
Don't discount that Schnauzer dog. He's got a role in this competition.
Oh, I didn't see him back there. I love schnauzers. All my dogs have been schnauzers. Oh man. Is he miniature or medium? Love schnauzers. Okay, let's put a whole nother spin on that photo for me. Okay, y'all. You can't say enough about the beauty. Where is Cleveland?
I am here. Good evening.
Cleveland, that's dynamite.
Thank you.
Go ahead, talk about your picture.
Okay. I took this at the first anniversary of the opening of the Native American Museum here in DC. And I really didn't know what I had until later, because I was focusing more on the dancers and the performance, the celebration. And I caught her expression and then, went back to shooting action. So it wasn't until days later, really, that I looked, what I was doing, and I found this image. And I only slightly darkened it a little bit so that the black was pure, but the rest was, didn't need any manipulation, any work or anything. And it's been one of my treasured shots ever since. She's a member of the Ojibwe tribe, which is in the Dakotas in America. And that's about all I have to say about it. It remains one of my all-time favorite portraits.
I know why. It's strong. She's not doing what people expect Native Americans to do, look proud, be about themselves. And the picture's got the right light. I mean, like, that makes it even stronger. So let me ask you this question. When you're in Photoshop, do you do the levels? Do you do the absolute black to bring the colors?
I play around.
You play around? Okay.
Yeah, I play around and, try different things and look, what impact, what effect it has on the image and make a decision then. I don't go in with preset conditions in my mind.
Okay.
I just play and, sometimes shots don't need much work.
You did perfect. I mean, I see texture everywhere. So I just think that's just dynamite.
Thank
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Aha, yeah, that caught my eye. I said, yeah, that's strong. Yeah.
This was actually in Southeast DC. I named it Rock Creek Park.
I'm from there. Where? I'm going. Where is?
off a Naylor Road somewhere. What happened is this was actually a wedding. I went to shoot a wedding at the house of the groomsmen where they were all getting dressed. You know how you do that before?
Yes.
And I saw this out of a window and I asked about being, able to photograph it. And the groom said, well, it's my grandfather. And they're from Puerto Rico. The groom said, it's my grandfather's. I don't know if he wants, people to know about it. So I didn't say anything. And on my way out, before I got in my car, I tiptoed to the backyard, took the picture and left. So that's how I got this one.
Yes, go ahead. Photographers sometimes have to take risk to
Yes.
get the image that they want.
Mhm.
So, welcome to the world of you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yes.
Does it take courage to be a photographer? A little bit. What else does it take? It takes manners.
Hmm.
And also you can always call up later and say, hey, I was just wondering. And no one's gonna know where I shot it at. Okay, you can even sign an agreement. I will tell nobody. And,
Well,
but really, it's a great, great, great image. If you don't do another thing, you make sure you copyright that bad boy, okay?
yes. Yes, ma'am.
Me talking about copyrighting is still. Yes, okay, next. Congrats, man. John Buckley.
Here, yes, hi.
Hey, sir, hello, hello. You really did a time capsule here. That is beautiful. The contrast, what were you thinking?
Well, this is from a long-term project that I worked on between late 2020 and about Memorial Day. That's going to be coming out in a book in December. That's called Pictures of You, the letter U, and it's really a look at the intersection of 14th and U Streets and the neighborhoods that spread out from there. This just struck me as sort of a perfect distillation of U Street present and past. And I love the way there's the posters on the streets depicting historic U Street. And then this the composition just sort of came together where I was kind of focused on getting the woman who's walking towards me. And it was really only later that I realized I had the two figures with the masks on either side of that picture. So it all just kind of came together, and it's actually going to be the cover of the book because it's probably the picture that best depicts what I was going for with this long-term project.
It's very, very, very impactful, very strong because of your composition. Just 30 minutes, there's nothing as soon as you get there. So you decide which way wrong. How did you decide where to stand, John?
I spent a lot of time all over these neighborhoods. And so I just happened to be standing right there, and I realized that this is I think 11th and U, and I realized that with that picture there, I could actually create sort of a picture within a picture, and so it all just magically came together, as sometimes pictures do.
That's because the brain was working with those eyes. Contemplation before you start shooting, and then you start thinking about what you want. And while you think about what you want, you gotta have your camera lens up. So if it's going on while you're thinking, you can take the picture. That's such a terrific picture. Congratulations, congratulations. Oh yeah.
Okay, so here we are on 14th Street, and I'll admit I tried taking this picture like over a couple of days because I saw around noon the sun came directly through the bubble, and I could get people eating their meals inside this weird COVID bubble that we were all living in. But this just came together with the two guys walking similarly dressed, right? And they're like walking in lockstep with each other. So it's sort of two pictures that came together, but really depicting the weirdness of life in Washington, D.C. in January of 2021, with everything from COVID to the insurrection to, all the stuff we were dealing with.
Yeah, that was a hell of a kickoff month. But I tell you, your picture has all the elements. It's wonderful black and white. And it leads from left to right because of the two tents in the background, the two guys walking, the two shadows hitting on it. And then you got the pajama to the right, two people having supper or lunch. So we've come a long way since that time. I'm of course not thinking it's over. It's just me, youthfully scared. But I don't want to be an oops. Let me also mention that. Don't want to be an oops. So we wear our mask everywhere. Everybody wear their mask. Photographers are the first to die. Do not be cavalier about your health as you take pictures, or not touch things that you didn't bring in someplace. And always do have disinfectant wipes, because people sometimes when you're not looking and you don't have all your cameras around your neck, somebody may pick up your camera. They may sneeze on your camera. This is where we are right now, sci-fi time. So always play safe as a photographer, because I know plenty of photographers with bad backs. You gotta stretch, you gotta go for walks. Okay, so you don't die on the photographic trail. It's a great picture, John, the bubble.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, man. All right, Janine, the shadow knows.
The shadow knows. This, of course, was taken. I had gone downtown this particular day to shoot the first Indigenous Peoples Walk, and which was right near the Lincoln Memorial, and of course the Vietnam Memorial's right there. And I just happened to look, and I saw, the shadows. I was photographing some people. They were standing to the side, but their shadows were casting on this wall like this. And it looks like they're just the spirits to me coming out of the wall of those many, many names. They were just standing there, I guess paying their respects to somebody that they knew.
I can see a Rod Serling flick here because of the chains and the shadows looking to be encompassed by them. Yes, too many people got sacrificed. And the deal about not having any more war is to remember how bad it was. Don't do it again. So I always like to try to let my photos talk something of history that says we have to stand strong about what's right and wrong. And this, for me, stands very strong. The composition, it's flying. And plus, because the figures are silhouettes and yet there's writing on the wall, it intensifies what that picture is, what it could be about, and it would catch your eye anywhere. It's like fine art, Janine. We got fine art here.
All those names, it's a lot of names, and that's just a small portion.
What did you consider first when you were looking toward the wall? Did you look further down the wall? Did you look to
No,
the
I
left
actually
of the
saw their
wall?
shadows. They were standing to the left, but I actually saw their shadows on the wall. And I shot it as big an image as I could shoot with my camera, and I cropped the people out.
Okay.
And so that just brought that in. But, I'm always looking at different ways to shoot the Vietnam Memorial Wall differently.
Well, you did good with this. Yes, yes. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ah, excuse me. Somebody been hanging out down there, huh?
Yeah, this is very early during the when they had just set aside 16th Street as Black Lives Matter Plaza. I call it Black Lives Matter Plaza, but I think I need to call it something else because I'm more and more intrigued with his look than what the plaza stood for something, but his look to me, and it's almost like he was, trying to look off into the future or something, or what's ahead for him. And at that time, things were just in the beginning of the demonstrations down there. And I went down there like mother hen just to see what was going on, because, back in the 60s and the 70s, we were doing things like this. So protesting. And so I went down there, just to see, because at this time they were blaming the demonstrators for everything that went wrong.
Of course. That's why you have to have evidence of pictures. And the more images taken, the safer we are as a group of people who are trying to have freedom, justice in this American way. Okay. Everybody deserves fairness. And you deserve to be able to be a photographer when you're not doing other things that obligate you to them. And if you can do a photography while you do something else, your family's gonna love you. Now they may get mad if you spend all day in the dark room, but always schedule time with the family. That's how you stay out of trouble. Okay. And nobody, y'all worried about that? I had to find out. Okay. So always try to include the family. Congratulations.
Hold on, I gotta say something about this photo that I'm seeing also, because I see that hand right there, and I see that hand as a symbol of authority. Saying,
yes,
these are the events that happened there. We have a Black Lives Matter. We've had things going on, but there's still the man.
Yeah, the man ain't going nowhere. Y'all, Chip Pye is a wonderful philosopher. He knows stuff. He a badass photographer. Chip Pye, you look up his name on Google that stuff and look at what this wonderful work Chip has done. He a bad boy. Go on, Chip. See, I didn't see that. Go ahead. Now see what happens when more of us look at the things and somebody else talks about it. Chip, you get an A, brother.
But couldn't this also be a hand reaching out?
Yes, that's also true too. Yes. Yes. Support. But really it looks like stop.
Yeah.
I'm going. Looks a little mean and hard.
It's a white hand there. It says stop.
I love it. Photographers also tell the truth the way they see it. I like that. Yes, go ahead. Thank you, Janine.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Oh, one more.
We've been busy. Lord have. Yes, this is a wonderful photo. Tell me what you were doing, how you got to be out there like that.
I think it was a global, not a protest. It was just a day about globalization and the environment and stuff like that. But it was a very, very hot day in April, and abnormally hot. It was like 90 degrees. And this was taken behind that stadium. And I like these little sidewalk fountains for the kids. And these kids was just having a ball out there. And I just sat down and just watched them and just was shooting them.
How did you find the balance of the kids going with the water being so lively?
You know what, to be honest with you, I know I shot this with a 50mm lens, and I got 3 pictures out of one image.
Okay.
And the first image I had, was just one little boy, just, I call it, I forgot what I call it, but he's just, he just has his hands up and his eyes are closed and he's just really enjoying this water. And then I looked at the total image again and I saw this image. And all of this was in that one image.
It's great.
And then I had another image from it, but I don't know, I just caught it like that. These were just children being children.
And photographers being photographers. Yes.
Right. And it was a matter of just sitting down because there's a bunch of little kids out there.
I'm reading some other things into this, and if y'all want to mute me,
go ahead.
But I'm also seeing that, these are kids and he's the first one running in. All right. So I also see that this kid is the kid who chose to face his fear and run in, and look at the other kids' reactions with him. They can't believe he's doing it. And the guy on the far right, he's looking in and pulling back a little bit, like, I ain't gonna do that. I see a lot of story in here, and I'll try and be quiet.
No, it's fine.
It's
fine.
Congratulations.
They were having a ball.
No, and I'm having a ball watching them. Thank you, Janine.
Thank you. I think that's it, Sharon.
Okay. All right, Diamond. Who did eyes? And their name is Diamond. No confessions? What? No Diamond. Okay, well, let me talk about the picture for a minute. You don't know what to think about where it is, except I know it's by DuPont Circle going down into the tunnel. And I've seen it all kind of ways. I thought it was interesting, but I didn't shoot it. Now that I see it as a still image, I'm like, that's a hell of a shot. Because it's also like a Twilight Zone moment, okay? Sometimes you can make stuff surreal by how you view it and how you take the picture. The person who put all that stuff up there, some of it's just like natural with stone having cracks in it between the lights and things. So it makes it have a little mysteriousness, not to mention how dark that hole is going down the steps. So that's a winner for me because it was just about eyeballs. And if I wanted to look at the lights a little wildly, I could say that might be nostrils, you know, maybe it was a Martian that got there, but I enjoyed the picture because it made me think. Okay, Diamond, we'll holler. Next. All right, legation, Peggy Fleming. Peggy Fleming with us. And Peggy. I like found things too. And some of the best parts of America aren't in front of the house. They're behind the house. I always tell photographers, when you shoot anything, whatever you see in front of you, check to the left, check to the right, and then do a total turnaround and see what's behind you. Because sometimes the best stuff that's going on is behind you. So it seems to be found stuff of him walking around, and the contrast between that shiny car and those trash cans and that the shed is almost done. Look, among the greenery, all the contrast, and it also has composition. So that's why I like Legation Street. Anybody got any comments about Legation Street? Okay, let's go to the next one. David Fry. All right, tell us about this.
Well, so this was the Black Lives Matter protests from last summer and the previous summer, and this was lying down in the street in memory of George Floyd. And what really captured me then was the one woman who was kneeling, and it sort of caught the two kind of the two movements for me, you know, sort of the take a knee movement in professional sports, and then the lying down in the street for the George Floyd protests. And I was just really struck by the kind of the juxtaposition of this, you know, strong looking woman kind of towering over the crowd on the street.
What made you decide that composition?
I don't know how much I decided it. You know, part of it was, it was an awkward thing of having to, I was kind of juggling taking part in the protest and then standing up and grabbing a camera. And so I happened to see her, and she was just such a striking image. And, you know, looking at it now, there are, you know, all the leading lines of the legs, but I don't know that I thought about that at the time. I just, you know, saw her, and that really grabbed me, and I clicked the shutter.
It's a very cool shot.
Oh,
and the composition is terrific. And all those legs out there, the sea of legs, and one person kneeling, the contrast of that is very, very good. So congratulations to you, because I think that's tough stuff.
Thanks.
All right. Oh, nature. Brenda, tell us about this photo. Brenda. Well, I'm gonna talk about the photo. There are bits of nature that are just as important as the whole thing. And sometimes the finer points of plants can be found in the smallness of something on the plant. And it's about composition. It's about time of day. What kind of light is it? And can you blur out the background and only have in focus what you primarily are aiming at? That's what makes this a strong picture. All the rules are followed with the composition, the rule of thirds, about where things line up. If you've never heard the rule of thirds or are not quite clear about how you find out about that, yes, of course, in the neither world of the computer, there are all kinds of great topics. And one would be this: the shallow depth of field, shooting plants. Because if you shoot a plant, it's not going to bite you. If you shoot a bee, you might get stung, maybe. Don't get too close. But if you don't try, you don't know how much you're feeling shape, composition, and texture. I get all this in this one shot here. So Brenda Hanning, you did it. And thank you. Next. Oh, look at here, the real DC. John, who did this one? Daniel Horowitz, talk about this.
Well, I wanted to document Inauguration Day this year, and I sure as heck wasn't going to go into Washington. So I went out my front door in Alexandria, and that was the scene that I saw from the Wilson Bridge. And I knew that you can shoot all the way up to the Capitol from there. So I just got the juxtaposition of all these gunboats, and it was an incredible scene when I contrasted with past inaugurations, which were very welcoming. And what I particularly enjoy about the view is how this guard with his machine gun seems to be staring right back at me, and he's kind of dressed like a Star Wars fighter.
Ain't it something? Yes, they're here to protect us. Really? That's a great shot. It's about where DC has evolved to, and the politics of how we have government in our lives, and everybody's still not on the same page after all this time. That's why photographs are needed, so they go down through history as people claim what didn't happen. Like they say, well, January 6th didn't happen. Hell, film and pictures everywhere. Really, y'all? You know, if you think about yourself as a photographer, you're part of what makes history be go-go, okay? The past grows into the present, that grows into the future. And photographers help that. If you got a camera, yeah, that's what you're doing. And keep doing it. Because, you know, you can talk about this stuff too. So, Daniel, in taking this picture, how did you figure out? Did you get scared when you were taking the pictures and the guys trying to give you eyeball contact? Or did you look steady ahead with your camera and get them pictures?
I actually looked steady ahead. I was only when I examined the picture that I noticed he was staring back at me. So I was completely fearless.
See, y'all, what you don't know is not going to hurt you. All right? And you get a great picture. Congratulations, Daniel. That's a badass picture for these times. Oh, yes, Daniel, the real DC. Look, I love this one too. Obviously, you're a water man. I love the water. Daniel, anytime, go ahead, talk about what happened, Daniel. Don't let me tell it. Go ahead, Daniel.
I first came to Washington in 1990, and I worked for an environmental group at the time. And what they said was the top issue that we had to confront is the country had to do something about global warming. And here we are 31 years later, and literally almost nothing has happened except everything has gotten worse and more apparent. So I wanted to somehow document this on a rainy day because I see the cherry blossoms and the monuments are all seem to be just crumbling. And so I went out in the rain, and I just wanted a few elements. I wanted to localize that this was Washington, this was the seat of government, and there was a bench that was underwater where somebody was just perhaps waiting for something to happen for an eternity, and nothing was happening except the bench was going underwater. So I I stood over at the tidal basin and I just focused on trying to get a very simple composition and also keep my camera as dry as possible.
That's a beautiful picture. Absolutely beautiful. And you got close. Obviously the bench with nobody on it, and the bench is drowning. The comparisons of all of what you did, an excellent job. Excellent. I'm scared of global warming. You got my attention some more. Yes. Congratulations, big time. Man, you a two-time winner, brother.
Thank
you. Daniel, hello. Daniel, that's a great picture. One, because the colors. Two, because all the illuminations are really nice. So how'd you do that? You use a tripod? What'd you do, Daniel?
I did use a tripod. I was actually out trying to take some nighttime pictures at the FDR Memorial. It was going terrible. It was in the pandemic. All the water was turned off. It was dark. Everything was broken. So I kind of staggered away from there. I walked into a sinkhole. I was feeling even worse. I was up to my waist in water, and I climbed out of it and very depressed. And I saw this magical scene across the tidal basin. And so I set my tripod. I used a very long lens, and there were all these lights twinkling back across the water. I mean, I didn't know what it was at the time, but I could hear there were speeches going on, and it looked like Martin Luther King was preaching to his followers as these lights flashed. So I took the picture.
Yeah.
It turned out it was a group called the Streets Calling Bike Club that had formed to support Black businesses that were struggling during the pandemic. And this was one of their meetings at the MLK Memorial, and they were having a rally there. That's what I later determined.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
All
the elements. Go ahead, Cleveland, talk.
This, for me as a photographer, the greatest compliment I can give another photographer is to say that I wish I had taken that picture. And that's how I feel about this one. This is awesome. I have goosebumps. And the thought of you climbing out of waist deep water and still taking a picture, bravo to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Daniel, you bad, man. Anytime adversary, you wouldn't let it get you. Fell in a hole and got out. Now see, y'all, that's a lesson to be learned. If something doesn't go right, it gets better. Whatever comes next is gonna be better. Daniel just proved it. Okay, next, please. All right, Nikki Jordan, talk about this. Nikki Jordan. Okay, well then I'll talk about this. I like the picture because it's action. And I know that the Representative Cori Bush came out of the St. Louis area where everything was going haywire and got herself elected to Congress. So folks, the younger folks especially, come together when some members of Congress call for a rally about what's going on with the homelessness situation behind the COVID. And she's done several actions with folks who think like her, down by the Capitol, down in government buildings, to emphasize that everybody's not safe because they don't have a home. So she's the director of what she believes in. And she has people who come and listen and support what she's saying. That image is strong, saying that I know what I'm talking about. I have a point to make. It's really a cool picture. Next. Nikki Jordan. Calling Nikki Jordan again. Nikki? Okay. This picture, kids trying to do their thing. And you got adults and other little people too. So what got my attention with him was the foot action and the hand action. And as hard as we are as kids, it's kind of hard to keep that mask up. It's hard for adults too. It slips and slides. I wear two now at a time. One that aims toward the bottom, the other one that stays up at the top. So I can make sure I'm as safe as I can be. But this is cute. When kids are still cute. cute, and dogs and cats. Okay, kids, dogs, and cats. You can't lose. So the happy parade is going on and he's concentrating. It's a great picture.
Yeah, I don't know if I can add. I was going to say I like the way the photographer got down at their level. You know, I don't think it would be the same photograph if they were standing, you know, as you usually do when taking a photo.
No, I agree. It gets boring to shoot at eye level all the time. I take a ladder with me wherever I go, so I'm always tall enough. And then I get other angles that include elements I want. I also get low because when you shoot from the bottom up, the things right in front of you are huge, and maybe you have a point to make. Maybe you see some art. Never feel like shooting at eye level is the answer. It's not. You got to raise up, shoot up there. You got to raise down, shoot down there. The other thing about perspective as a photographer, and you're looking through your viewfinder, if you hold your head straight and keep your eyes straight, and then just let your eyes go to the left, don't move your head, and see what that composition over there looks like. Then go straight over to your right. What does it look like over there with that end? Just your eyes. You're still looking straight ahead, but you're taking your eyes to the right or to the left to see that if you shift, you get stronger composition in looking. Everything is not head on, but a lot of good things are because it's in your face. Sometimes pictures get stronger because we read left to right and the impact's supposed to be on the right-hand side. Sometimes even that rule is broken. And the strongest thing about that image is what's going on with the main subject being on the left. But that's the difference between photographers, how we see, and none of us see the same. It's a beautiful picture. And always get down. Keep those knees in good shape. Okay, Nikki Jordan again. Okay, Nikki. This is the Congresswoman Cortez, one of the progressives from New York City. And she has to talk to people about why the passion has to run for people who are the least of us. And that doesn't happen with all the Congress people and senators. So this is like, she's not aware of the camera. Only people aware of the camera are two people behind them who got their iPhones out. But things get lost in the sauce without some dialogue. And the action is there. I don't shoot anything that doesn't move. If you're at the podium talking, you don't make a hand gesture, you don't do something that makes me say you are live, I don't shoot it. You want to wait on a shot that makes sense. And if they move, you got the shot. If they didn't move, you didn't quite get successful. Get moving images, moving with stills, yes. Next. Sandra Kaufman, where are you?
Hi. Hi, Sharon.
Hey, hello, how are you?
Okay.
Tell us about how you found this.
Well, I was walking out of the East Building in the National Gallery, and I passed one of my favorite pictures, and these kids were sitting under it doing I don't know what, and I thought, oh, that's very funny. And I kept on walking, and then halfway out, I thought, are you an idiot? Go back there and get that picture before they leave. So I did. I stood in front of them. They didn't see me for a while. Once they did see me, things changed. Once they know you're there, they start posing. And, but that was much later. Anyway, I see it as the disciples of two very different religions. One of them is spiritual, which is Christianity. The second one is very worldly, which is technology. And funnily enough, I just saw the whole thing when
it's a great contrast of where we are and where we've been. Congratulations, congratulations, Sandra, congratulations. Next. All right, Sandra again. Talk about this, girl.
Again, at the entrance to the East Building in the National Gallery. It was an absolutely beautiful day. This fellow was sitting on one of the ledges, and all of a sudden the light shifted and it engulfed him. And he looked up and I thought, that's it. That's the picture. And it seemed to me then that it was a perfect picture of hope. That
Yes, it
he was
is. Yes,
looking
it is.
toward the light and things were going to get better. And this-
Congratulations, Sandra. That's a good picture. That's a very good picture. That's art. That's like fine art. Stuff that makes you think, especially if you're in a doctor's office and you need to be calm. If you're in your house and you like contemplation, pictures of people contemplating will make you contemplate. Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Kimberly.
Hey, so first,
Kimberly.
thanks for this show. Thanks for this great call. I really love hearing from everybody.
Talk about what you were doing here and tell me, did you contemplate this from afar or did you like pre-visualize that you had something you had to capture?
No, I was talking to this fellow and I asked if I could take a shot and he said, yeah. And I tried to get him talking about, being in the service and service members I know. And he wasn't that into talking, but he was fine with me being there. And, it just was just kind of this fabulous space with this really interesting person.
Are you all in a trailer somewhere?
No, he's in that little, oh gosh, the teeny building out front of the Lincoln Memorial, which is where the veterans of foreign war are. And you can walk by there and they've got, badges and information and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard task. And it looks like it's like, not easy. Not
Yeah.
easy at all. And he probably is a veteran, got his Navy hat on.
Yeah.
All right. This picture says a lot. It does.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, well, now, excuse me. Okay, Kimberly, so you got skills, okay?
Well, it's funny, the reflections off this memorial are amazing. And here we were, it was around 4th of July. And, this dad was photographing his little girl and it was just this amazing reflection.
It's surreal. That's what I like. It is surreal. Congratulations, Kimberly.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Oh, yes, this struck my fancy. So, framing and composition. Leslie, tell us what you were thinking.
Well, first of all, I have been photographing in the museums for years, but never photographed people. And then one day I was at the West Wing of the National Gallery of Art, and I was initially drawn to the water coming off of the fountain. And then I spied the people who couldn't see me, and they were just carrying on doing their own thing. And I made this image then. And what I think is interesting, this was the beginning of a series I'm now doing on tourists in DC. And I've thoroughly enjoyed photographing tourists at all the different memorials and museums. But at this particular fountain, many times you'll see tourists pretending they'll actually strike the pose of the statue on top.
Whoa.
Or they dance in front of it. So this is the origins of my series that I'm working on now, DC.
Okay, very cool. What struck me was the person behind the water taking the picture.
Yep.
And that there was water, but on the other side, everything is dry because it's not the mountain. I thought that was, and it's great black and white. It's got composition. I mean, you hit it out the ballpark, okay?
Thank you. Thank you. And this is in my series on Union Station. I'm photographing the life and the energy of Union Station. And what's interesting about this is the first, I went there to start photographing after I was my second vaccination in March, and there were no tables, no people. It was sad. And then I went back, I've been going every week. And I went, all of a sudden one day I went back and there were people sitting at tables, and it's like the life of the station was starting to come back.
It's a heck of a good picture.
Thank you.
Especially because of the tables and the people at them in the foreground. And then that it rises up to the steps with nobody hardly on them. But on the top set of steps, there's somebody getting up there. It's a great picture. It says a lot about the times we living in. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Deborah Lash with the food. Deborah Lash. You know, anytime you got the people in focus, and you're teasing people with food in front of them, you know, you're doing good. Where are you? Well, it's a great picture for a couple of reasons. Food is the focus, but what's really in focus is the people in the back getting ready to chow down. And the food in the front out of focus, that's a teaser. Your eyes are forced to go back to where the people are sharp and in focus. I like the picture. It also has composition and a lot of intense color. It's cool. It's a very nice picture about what goes on in our community. Block party. I love block parties. All right. Next. Oh, yes. Benediction in music. I love music. Where are you, Prescott?
I'm here.
All right. Right. Oh, Prescott. Let's see. Well, I can't see you. Where are you? Oh, Scott. Last one.
Yeah,
Oh,
Scott.
right. Cool. What? Oh, Prescott. You're Scott. All right, Scott. It's a nice shot, man. Tell us how you found that shot.
Thanks. I'll just say Prescott is my photography name. I typically go by Scott, but this is it's a photo from All Souls Church on 16th Street, where there are like 1 million churches. And this is from a series I did. I was really struck by the diversity of All Souls. It's very diverse racially, very diverse, age-wise, which is very different from the church I grew up in, and diverse as far as sexual orientation. In fact, I think they signed the marriage equality bill there, which may be a problem as far as separation of church and state, but it just goes to show you how kind of on the cutting edge they are. So what I like about this is it just shows the joy of the place, the energy, and yeah, that's really what I liked.
Did you use available light or did you use flash?
All available light.
So your shutter speed had to catch it just enough. So part of it's sharper than the other part, and you're forced to go to the joyful smile of the gentleman who's singing. He's throwing down, and I feel the energy. This is a very good picture.
Thank you.
And you got close enough to fill a good portion of the frame, so you couldn't miss what was going on. And because it's off kilter a little bit because of the way he leans, it makes it even more interesting. Congratulations, Scott. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, excuse me. All right, Scott. Okay, another bad one. Hello, brother. This is nice because no matter what goes on with demonstrations, it takes energy, and some of us are not as youthful as we used to be. So the statue is not moving, but the people say we are not going back. So it's really a very cool, unusual look about what goes on at a demonstration. We all usually concentrate on the people who are not moving, but this in itself and how crowded it is. And it's probably, people got on jackets, maybe a little bit, but it's a nice image, different way of looking at stuff.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. Suzanne,
Hi,
how you doing?
good, thanks.
Good. It's wonderful to see stuff that you don't expect to see. Tell me how you were thinking about this.
Well, like Leslie, I also had been going to Union Station to see if there was a picture to get there. And earlier in the year, I also walked in and there was nothing in there. It was distressing because it should have been bustling. So I'm standing in there thinking, what am I going to take a picture of? And I guess a train did come through because suddenly a little stream of people was going by. And so I thought, this is it. You got, this is your only chance to get a picture. So I took some, and this one amused me because it reminded me of when we were kids and we, put two legs in a bag and tried to run, but three-legged race.
It definitely catches the attention in the hustle and bustle of travel. You make sure you copyright that before you send it out to anybody. And then I'm sure one of the airlines or one of the train, maybe Amtrak, you can sell it to them. But that says a lot about what happens when we're trying to get someplace, especially after this COVID stuff. Congratulations on this picture, because you clearly took a chance. You got action, you got composition, you got an innate object with a hand on it, and everybody's moving. I love it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, Suzanne, yeah, girl. Talk about this picture.
Well, this was at the Yards Park fountain where you can go underneath, and the water wall makes everything beautifully blurry. And there were a lot of kids playing. They were moving so fast I couldn't even look at the screen. I just had to point my camera and shoot. But suddenly this boy stepped through the water and just stood there for a minute. And so I could look through the viewfinder and actually compose a picture. And he had the water dripping off his chin like that. I really enjoyed it.
I love all the contrast. I love the composition because my eyes go from the front to the left to the back, and that it's out of focus behind the water makes it even prettier. And the young man has pride, even though he's wet. So this is really nice, very nice.
Thanks, yeah, he's a good kid.
You're a good photographer.
Thanks.
All right, Andrew. Andrew. Okay, well, let's talk about this picture here. Does everybody know who Emmett Till is? Even though this name I think is spelled wrong, but does everybody know who Emmett Till is? Who got lynched by a bunch of people back in the day before we understood how bad it was in America between folk. I like the picture because Emmett Till still lives on in books, in documentaries, in magazine writings to remind us and our kids that people don't all like you. And obviously somebody here on their motorbike with their hard hat is on the way someplace. But wherever he's on his way to, there's still the memories of Emmett Till and memories of other Emmett Tills that came later, including George Floyd. So this is an urban, I'm telling you in your face what's going on. So Andrew, I got your point. I got your point. Very nice. Next. Andrew again. All yellow tape leads out to nowhere, okay? Everything just like DC can be sometimes. You can't walk on the sidewalk. And matter of fact, you can't park your car now. So this is city confusion for me. So let me speak for Andrew saying, yeah, I get that the yellow tape and the wood stuff above the head and the strap folding. That's a lot of stuff a city person got to put up with. And that picture shows, okay? That picture shows it. Next. Every era is gonna have demonstrations. And where is, Andrew's not here again. Okay. So how do you find the historical pictures? You have to be there. How do you decide what to shoot? You have to contemplate that you're after something maybe in particular else first. You want to change your mind about what you were going for because all of a sudden something else is in your frame and you have to change what's going on. The easiest thing is to shoot down the middle of the street, but sometimes the impact, it's there, but it could be another kind of way too. If I shoot something dead down the middle of the street, I'm also going to step over to the right and get an angle on it because sometimes the angles on things make a picture stronger. I'm also going to go over to the left and go in the other direction because even from here, I can see where it says defund the police. I'd have had the 300 millimeter lens out hitting down the road down there to make that close up and try to make it impactful. The size lens you use decides how much impact your image has. And you can't ever get close enough. People who shoot pictures far away have no impact. You want impact? It's gotta be, the image gotta be in our face. Next. Oh, this is beautiful. Julie,
Yes. Hello.
Julie, how'd you do that?
Well, once a year, the cathedral, they take all the pews out and they have a light show. And people come and, you know, stand around or sit on the floor. And it's about an hour of changing lights and there's music coordinated with it. And I have lots of pictures of beautiful colors on the different architectural features, but this was the only picture I took that had people in it. And I really like, they look sort of like from a Renaissance painting, the way the colors of the lights worked on it. And this was a 2-minute exposure because it's very dark in there. And this was from 2019. And I went back in 2020 and they didn't let people bring tripods in.
Wow.
So I couldn't get any good pictures the next year, but I was happy to have this one.
How far up an ISO does your camera go?
Oh, 150,000.
Girl.
But this picture is only 400 because it's such a long exposure.
It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece. And the bottom looks like Da Vinci did paint the colors. It's just really, this is good. This is fine art, okay? Fine art.
Thank you.
I love that the nave also looks like it's a toned black and white in the middle of like all the Technicolor. It's beautiful.
Well, the lights were just changing all the time, and that's how it was at that moment.
You have great composition. You decided to make it vertical because you knew that's the way the lines were flowing. And you got the rule of thirds working for you. You have impact and people are still little. That's pretty damn good, okay? Hello.
Thank you.
Julie, home run, home run. Next, please. Talia. Talia. This is a young person declaring that they are cool. Talia. I like the image because the iron is about as done in as the stonework that she's sitting on is painted. This is the looks of youth. We didn't look like this when I was coming along. We'd have been in trouble. But it's a new generation. This speaks to the new generation. Next. Victoria Pickering. Victoria. Yes, we think Lincoln freed us, but because enough people didn't know, we weren't free. I like the contrast between the man who serves his country, the guy who tried to make everybody be free from bondage, and the guys on the marble steps sitting, probably contemplating all the stuff that's gone on since COVID, before COVID. I like the contrast between a statue and a real person. Right on, Victoria. Next. This is precious. What do we learn? Victoria, where are you? You got 2 home runs already. Hello.
Yeah, this one is at the White House, obviously. They're listening to Reverend Jesse Jackson at a voting rights rally, and he's holding up his daughter so she can see the Reverend.
That is great. That is great. So you knew what you were going for when you went out there, or you just happened to walk around and then the whammo whammo hit you?
No, I'd been down at the rally started at the African American Museum, and Jackson spoke there, and then he walked partway up to the White House. And, you know, just his bravery with his condition, being able to walk in the heat that far. And then he got a second wind at the White House and spoke again.
This is a great shot. Congratulations.
I also see the symbol of authority standing on the roof there.
They're always there, man. They don't never leave us. You can be innocent, and next thing you know, somebody's going, why are they done in? This is how it rolls now because of all the things that people keep dreaming up to do to all of us. It's bad. It's bad. But we have to vote. We still got to vote. Congratulations, Victoria. Next. Oh, Ronia, you got a cute look like a person. Talk about that.
That was during the, first of all, nice to see you, Sharon, and everybody else. This is an excellent discussion going on. This was in the cherry blossom tidal basin area. I forget which tree, but it was probably further in more than actually around the tidal basin. So I always like to photograph the trees in different ways. And instead of getting all the pink, I went for black and white. And I do miss black and white infrared film. So this is as close as trying to do it digitally than the actual film. I really miss that film. But I felt like the trees have shapes and, you know, bodily figure. And I felt like, oh, this is like kind of dancing or, you know, a silhouette style. That was my thought process there when I actually finally shot it. And I said, oh, that's different.
Very good, because yes, it is. And that's part of the reason why it's a beauty, what you've done by taking this tree's picture like it's a human being. Aha! Anytime you can make foliage look like it's one of us, we're doing good. And your vision and your angle and your dare to take a chance is all evident right there. You're good, girl. You're good. Don't stop. Don't stop.
Yeah, I'm trying not to. I go every year.
And do other things too. If you can do this much for a tree that doesn't move, I'd love to see what you do with live stuff too. So you keep going. Keep going. You shoot some more trees?
One more, but it's not trees as much.
Okay. Well, it's your art. Spread it out. Thank you.
So again, I try to go every year, and I go early as 5 a.m., you know, and you think you're going to be the first time I went, I was like, oh, I'm going to go there super early. And then I see like 100 professional photographers all around me. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I was trying to avoid the tourists. But this was kind of like a cloudy day, but I felt what made this image was the duck. And I was like, oh, it was taking off. And I was like, actually, I wasn't focused on the duck or at all, but it made the shot in there that I felt. And there was that light pink, very, very faint pink there. And another thing is, I think this was 2019, but I did go in 2020, even though there was that curfew. And so sunrise was about 6:45 in the morning, and the curfew starts at 7 a.m. I'm like, I'm going and get my 15 minutes of shot. And I actually did. And it was where Martin Luther King, the statue, and I managed to get a few shots, but I didn't submit those in.
Listen, I look forward to seeing more of your work. What I've seen already, I'm like, this is really cool. It's got composition. It's got great texture because of the clouds and the water, and not to mention the reflections in the water. being different than the ones that are on land. It's just a complete, total badass photo. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Good.
thank you
That was
so much.
very good. You got to go out to sea. If we don't go out to sea, we can't take pictures of stuff that we've not seen. So don't think ever that a television program comes ahead of you going out to see something to shoot. Okay, shoot something. Shoot something. Next. Oh, yes. Patrick, talk about this. Patrick.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, Patrick. It's a pleasure. Talk about your image here, because I got all kind of questions. Well, you might as well go ahead and say that the carpet was in bad shape. Is that what I get?
Well, this was a piece of performance art by an artist named Jennifer Rubel, and it was at Flashpoint Gallery, and you came into the gallery and there was a giant mound of breadcrumbs, which people were invited to throw in front of the lookalike of Ivanka, who was constantly vacuuming.
Whoa.
That's kind of an unusual event.
I love performance. Yes, I do. And the angle is great. It piques the curiosity, which, did you know what you were looking for when you got there, or did you see it?
Well, I wanted to get a little bit of action in there because people have asked me if that's a mannequin, and that's actually a real person. She was vacuuming the whole time. So
Wow.
the guy on the left shows that, you know, there's some kind of action going on there.
Wow. It's a very good, make you think. I can see it as sci-fi, real easy, okay? Nice
Yeah, it's a little
image. Good
pre-COVID.
thinking.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ballpark, you got a home run, man.
Gracias.
Oh, yes. Keva, where are you?
I am right here. Can you see me?
Yo, brother, I
Well.
see where you were. Get out of here.
All right, so first, let me offer you 2 apologies and 2 thank yous quickly. It's 2:30 a.m. where I am right now, and my cousin is sleeping here snoring like crazy. So if you hear snoring, it's not me.
Okay.
The thank you is for me to you for having covered our history for all of these years at the White House and doing an amazing job of it. And also how gracious and humorous you've been every time, you know, I was somewhere trying to photograph the president or the first lady, and you were always very kind and gracious and giving everybody space to do their work. So that's my start. I was right up there. I'm working on a book that I started last September 18th. When I went to do an early voting in Fairfax, Virginia, where I live, I saw the crazy lines down Government Center. And I thought, well, there's a story here. So, you know, I'm sitting home, not getting any assignment job, so I'm going to do it myself. And I started just going back every other day, different places in Virginia. And long story short, I did all the MAGA rallies, I did all the women's marches, and whatever else I got my hands on. And imagine what they were in November, October, December, you know, and none of these people were wearing masks and gathering by the thousands. So just to put it in perspective, it was interesting. And on this day, the 6th, I went first to the Ellipse where the former president was speaking. And I just could not believe my eyes, how many people were there. I mean, they were talking about thousands, but I never thought at that point during COVID, it's going to be this big a crowd. And then so I made it with the marchers all the way to the west side of the Capitol. And if you remember, we had all the stands where we always do the inaugural pictures. And when I saw them just going up on the scaffolding, it just boggled my mind, you know, what's happening here. And I'll just to make it much quicker, I was standing, my phone wasn't working because I couldn't get data. And some lady next to me kept yelling, they're in the chamber. And I just, you know, you hear that with your ears, and having covered the Hill for 30 years, you know how security works there and all of that. It was just inconceivable to me that, you know, and then when I heard that, I came around, and this is the very main door of the Capitol on the east side. And this is when they were trying to kick people out. You know, all the windows were broken, and this policeman from the inside, and some of the glasses already, the first round of glasses broken. And this lady she was live casting herself with her cell phone right there, you know, with "We the People" cap and So it was, I mean, surreal doesn't describe it, what I saw after all these years of being in this town, 36 years in this town. But this was really amazing.
This is a moment that stops in time, and it will for quite a long time past our lives. This is a beautiful photojournalism piece that says to the heart of, hey, we really got some people who don't understand democracy. If anything needs to be returned to the classroom, it's civics and debate clubs so people can figure out how to talk to each other again. But this picture just says broken. Oh yeah, the whole doggone system of how we're getting along ain't exactly working the way it did when we were younger. And Lord knows stuff changes. But here you have the evidence of us assaulting us. This is crazy. Wonderful picture. Please do not forget to enter this into the White House News Photographers contest this year.
I have, and it's in a couple of books already, and it's getting the round. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And keep it up with your bad self. Home run. Home run, man.
Thank you.
Yes, go on, brother. Talk.
November 7th. So I got out of my house around 11 o'clock. When was it 11:30, I think, when CNN and everybody else called Biden as our new president-elect. And of course, my wife is like, oh, we have dinner tonight. And as she's stuck with me for the last 29 years, every time there's something that I have to get out, she's like, okay, go do whatever it is you need to do. And so I stayed there the whole, I'm incredibly lucky. So I went on 17th Street, then up to the White House, where there were thousands and thousands and thousands of people celebrating. And then I stayed all the way till very late night. Very late, it was like 8:39. And then I gave up. But this was on 16th Street on BLM Plaza, where, again, surreal. This guy had his very, very tiny, skimpy thong that he was wearing, and just really walking up and down BLM Plaza and just dancing with whoever he could.
It's beautiful.
Thank you very much.
It says a lot. Congratulations on
Thank you. And speaking of ISOs, this is somewhere around 8,000 or 6,400 or something.
Yes,
because I needed to stop that action.
Yep.
So there.
And you got real flesh colors too. Go ahead with your bad self.
Yeah, a little more flesh than I wanted, but
it's lovely. You did a great job. Thank you
very
so much.
Thank you. And then this was October, I can't remember which, I'm sorry, November 11th, I think, which was a big MAGA rally. They started at Freedom Plaza, and I walked with them all the way to the Hill. So this is right next to the Capitol. Behind them, you can see the Capitol there. To my left, to the left of this image, is the Supreme Court. And the supporters of President Trump were barricaded. Many thousand. I'm talking 15,000 or more. All the way in front of the Capitol, and then the BLM and Antifa people were behind me where I was standing, and there was a police line separating them. And then when I looked at the look on this policeman, because it's just and those people were literally spitting and yelling and shouting, and this guy was just there was a line of him, and I looked in his eyes, and it's this sense of, I don't know, I'm not going to say helplessness, it's sort of puzzlement, I don't know, because he didn't know who he's trying to defend against who, right? I mean, obviously they don't take sides, but there were a lot of scuffles, a lot of people got over to the other side once in a while and started fights on both sides. And anyway, another really surreal day of last year that I was covering all this stuff.
It's the sign of our times, and thank you for capturing it. Yes. Another home run. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, here I thought I'd gone back in time. Joanne. Joanne. Okay.
Yes,
like-
can you hear me?
Yes, thank you so much. Talk about your picture, Joanne.
Well, this was taken at the Disabled Veterans Memorial near the Capitol. And this guy literally just walked into my frame, and it was a heartbreaking scene. He seemed to be alone, and it was like he was looking for some sort of comfort from the language that was written on the glass wall. And I knew I had a good picture, but I was a nervous wreck. I thought, that I wouldn't get the right exposure. I'd shake the camera. I was just a nervous wreck, but it worked out.
You did good. The only thing you might do is try to figure out how to make some of the words come up in the dark.
I know.
A little bit.
I know. I did what I could in Photoshop, but
you
some of it just wasn't there even.
It's okay. It's a great job, and it makes us curious. So now we got to go see for ourselves. But I felt a special compassion for these young men with torn up faces. That's really cool.
It was just heartbreaking, and the fact that he was alone and that, like, he was just really searching for some level of comfort.
No, what we look for these days is totally changed, and we have to look for it to be whole. You did a good job, Joanne. Way to go.
Thank you.
All right. As I get older and remember the good old days of streetcars, and then I say to myself, they're not good old days, but the artwork is. So, Joanne, hey.
Well, I think I don't think there's a photographer anywhere that doesn't love train tracks. And then you throw in cobblestone streets and you've got a picture.
It is cool. Down the middle. Yeah, got composition, got cars sitting. But what's it about? The track. The track. It's about the track. It's really nicely lit. You did great. Go ahead, girl.
Oh, and thank you. And I shot this with film.
Aha! Throwback, huh?
Well, I shoot with film, and it wasn't in the past. It's just I shoot with film a lot.
Oh, shoot film. Shoot, I got film, but what do I need? The picture yesterday, so I had to still use my digital, but it's beautiful. Congratulations, Joanne.
Thank you.
Oh, you've been busy. Look at here. Really? Yoga in the graveyard? Come on, Joanne, tell us about this.
Well, I was surprised about it too. I had read in the paper that they had yoga at Congressional Cemetery, which is a really, really, really old cemetery and has a lot of really famous people buried there. And so I knew it was there. I knew what time. So I went there deliberately to take some pictures. And it was the kind of situation that you just could not take a bad picture. I just shot all around them, and I got a number of really nice pictures.
It's about vision, and your vision had you there. So you could contemplate, probably put you at peace because it's yoga, right?
Yes, I felt peaceful.
See, so your picture looks peaceful because of how you felt.
Yes, I did feel peaceful there.
You're a winner there, Joanne. You win this one. Very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
You girl. All right, Chemo. I'm telling you right now, I dig the composition and the contrast, because somebody's trying to clean a step and the statue's back there watching, like the statue might be inspecting. How's it going out there? I see a sci-fi movie to come, but I like the picture because of the composition and the tones. Absolute blacks, absolute whites, and all kind of grays. It's gorgeous. Next. Oh, back to where we started. Yes, Beth, you started off a great evening. And thank you very much. And thank all y'all very much for trying to make our brains go with our eyes and go with our hands. Because all you're going to do is take more work that gets better. But just like any musical instrument, you got to practice, which means you have to go out, not urged by anybody, but what's inside of you. You decide what you want to shoot. You decide how you want to shoot it. And guess what? If you don't do a good job, we're not going to talk about you too bad, but we will talk about you.
Sharon, thank you so much. This was such a terrific talk. I personally had a wonderful time listening to everybody. It was so informative. The work is terrific. It's a beautiful show. So thank you again. And I think Karen Keating, are you on, Karen? We have a free coffee and critique once a month on Sundays, and it's been really popular. People come and just show work. Karen, are you here?
I am here.
Oh,
Are you
okay.
hearing me?
Yes.
Okay. Talking about coffee and critique, there's one every month, and it's not exactly the second Sunday or the first, because we plan it around courses that have been organized, and we have people who are teaching on the weekends. October 17th is the next coffee and critique. And what we have been doing as we slowly come out of COVID, because my leading the coffee and critique is that I require prints, not digital projections. So we, spent a lot of time doing it on Zoom, but we're slowly coming out. And so we're limiting the number of people. We often have maybe 16 or 18 sets of images to go over. But we also have people who come who just want to watch how it works. And it's free with sort of an ask for donations for coffee and bagels. So I think, Sophie, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the last two times we've had a max of 16 or 18 that came in person to Photoworks. And so they all were bringing work, not just observing. And we have 2 rooms, and so we go back and forth. People say how many images they've brought, a table full, a half a table. And then we look at those, and I ask a few questions. Other people, this is not a sole operation. Other people are chiming in and asking questions, and it's just, for me, it's just a wonderful break from my work and teaching and other things, and just camaraderie around photography. So you're, maybe Sophie, you might want to give details about.
Well, I don't want to keep everybody up, since we have gone a little bit over the hour and a half, but please check our website. And if you're interested in getting on our email list, I send out the kind of monthly updates, and you can stay tuned to all of the classes that we have, as well as events, including what Karen was talking about, the coffee and critique. And we'd love to see you all again. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Thank you so much, Sharon. It was an amazing time. We loved hearing from you.
It's great. And don't forget about the
hearing from all y'all. Go ahead. Go ahead, Gail.
I just want to say, don't forget about Sharon's portfolio review, so you can get her to talk about your work one-on-one. That sounds like it would be a very worthwhile experience. It'll be on our website. Sharon, you're the best. You were so much fun. It's so nice meeting you, albeit virtually.
All good. Be safe. Remember, COVID's still happening.
Absolutely.
Don't mess around.
Okay. Thanks again.
Always use those telephoto lenses for the long shots.
That's right. Don't get too close to anybody.
Thank you all so much. Practice, practice, practice. So you get better, better, better.
Thank you, everybody, for coming and participating.
Yeah, you're progressive, you're positive, and you're cool.
Right. Okay.
Bye-bye, y'all.
Good night, everybody. Okay.